traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1322nd edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni, and of course that would be me. Good evening, traders. This video is being filmed on a Tuesday night for Trading Wednesday. That is May 27, 2015. There's a lot for me to cover on the board, but before I get there, let me just warn you, this game, futures trading, is extremely risky, can cause substantial financial loss, is not suitable for just anybody. If you do not have risk capital, you don't belong in this game, and never, ever, ever trade without placing your protective stop first. Because at least if the stop is in and you freeze during a bad trade, the stop knocks you out. Put the stop in before you get started. All right, traders, so the opinion I'm about to show you is purely technical, as it always is from me. There's a lot on this board. First of all, we're starting off with a red OMNI for trading the U.S. indices, NASDAQ, S&P, Russell, Dow Transportation Average. We do expect, however, at some point this week, if it doesn't happen tomorrow on Wednesday, that we flip back to a green OMNI. In other words, we've got a double-sided OMNI this evening. It is going to sell first, and if we dip deep enough between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to get us long at some point. So, be careful this week, double-sided OMNI. Do not fall in love with the downside. So, traders, there are a lot of funds in this market. A lot of funds in this market. I mean, it is so big today. The money is so big today that I don't know if we can count it all. I'm going to show you a quick example, but there are so many funds, and most of them say they're not fully invested yet. There is no way the top is in, and we will talk about that. Before I get into the charts, I want to show you something. There are thousands of registered funds with NFA and the NFA, these at CFTC, with the funds that are involved with the SEC. There are thousands and thousands of them. You know what? There are also thousands of funds that aren't even registered. Now, I'm going to read to you just a few. This is the top 100 best hedge funds for the year so far from Barron's Magazine. I'm not going to bore you with all of them. I want to show you the amount of money that is around. I did this routine for my trading room today, and they found it interesting. I'm just going to start off with this. It runs in columns. There are column after column after column after column, and it shows you what the name of the fund is, the return, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to read you the money only in assets. 3,330,705,768,311,000,1,336,321,753,000, 403,517,911,000, 1,500,000,000, 2,570,000,000, 8,700,000,000, 30,300,000,000, 1,300,000,000, 8,600,000,000, 499,000,000. We're at number 18. That was number 18. The numbers are astounding. 15 billion in this fund, 4 billion, 12 billion, 2 billion, 1 billion, 4 billion, 8 billion. I'm still just on the beginning of this column. I mean, there's no sense in going on. There's so much money out there. There just is no way that the top is in yet. I don't see it anyway. This money still has to keep coming in. They're just getting ready to raise rates. Not even soon. Down the road, that money will come flooding into this country. They'll buy more stocks. The top couldn't be in yet. That's what I wanted to show you as far as a fundamental. I read this much out of a list of thousands. I mean, come on. I couldn't even count what I added up for you just now. So, lots of funds. A lot of them are still not in. When the dollar starts to move higher and interest rates move higher, the funds will come in like crazy. So I don't think the top is in. And that's why I showed you weekly charts in my last video. And I said these charts are not for trading the next day. They are weekly charts. And the weekly charts tell us that this market overall, big picture, is still strong. Weekly charts, still strong. Daily emini NASDAQ, emini S&P likely to have a dip. That we know. That's why we're starting with the red arrow. But I'm going to show you more charts in this video that will show you the weeklies. The longer term charts look just fine. Don't get nervous yet with these crazy top callers out there. Gold, absolutely feeling the effects of that head and shoulders formation I've been showing you for weeks on end. Euro flies the bear flag, and I'll show you how interesting that bear flag is. Traders, you're going to love the chart segment that you're about to see. If you like these videos, please subscribe to me at youtube.com/futures analysts. If you subscribe there, every time I put out one of these videos, you'll get an email. You'll know it's fresh. You'll get to use the information before it's history while it's still news. Then, OMNI Camp. We have one planned for September. I've had a couple of OMNI campers that are pleading with me to set a date because they want to come. September 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, very much tentative date, but should happen on that date. If you would like to come study with me, train with me 4 full days here in Las Vegas, it's called OMNI Camp. I will be holding one in September. It's a Friday through Monday. If you'd like to study and learn the Omni, come on down to livewithoscar.com, fill out your OmniCamp application, and I will be more than happy to call you and qualify you for a seat. Traders, with no further ado, let's go look at some charts. Traders, the first chart I'm going to show you is a chart I showed you in my last video, the one right before this video, number 1321. And I showed you Chart Masterpiece, and I said there is no way the top is in yet because this looks too clean. We run up, we put that little top in, we hit the line, we run up. It's happened over and over again. We had 11 holds, one that didn't hold and ended up going back up, so we call it a loss. You'll get a 12th hold when it gets down here. It's not far away at this point. The market is here. We expect it to hold here. It's not that far away. This is one of the charts I showed you in my last video, and I basically said, don't get nervous. Don't expect this to be tomorrow, but it should put new highs in once we come back to here. Then we've got the NASDAQ. This looks fantastic as well, and a new high should be put in because that is what happens every time we come off that black line or that black average. We go up and put another new high in. So if we do dip and come down to the average, so be it. That seems to be our pattern. We'll take it. Now, let's go to fresher charts. Traders, more weekly charts. I want to show you. Take a look at this. Just sit back for a moment. Don't think. Just look with your eyes. Does this look scary? Does that chart look like it's about to fall apart to you? Does anyone look at that and go, oh my goodness, that looks scary? This is your weekly E-mini S&P with nothing on it. Just a simple trend average, or, excuse me, a simple trend parallel. Right? You can see it's paralleling and trending higher. All-time highs were made right here. We are right here. I mean, why would anybody worry yet? Look how close we are to all-time highs, you top-calling freaks. Cut it out. Let it at least turn into a top before you go nuts again. So this doesn't look scary. Not a scary view here, right? Well, let's take a look. Here's your NASDAQ, same exact thing, not a scary view at all. I mean, come on, that's a good-looking market. If it turns out to start to fall apart, so be it, we'll chase it down. But that doesn't look like what it's going to do. When you look at what happened here, it doesn't look like it's going to do anything more than the same thing again. Hit it and go back up. Until that pattern stops, why would we think it's not going to repeat? Then you've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average on the weekly. Does anything look scary about this bad boy? I don't think so. I don't think that looks even slightly scary. Good looking chart if you ask me. All-time highs right there. I mean, right here are all-time highs. We're here. How bad can this be? You can't get too nervous out there yet. The Dow Jones Transportation Average is the only one so far that is bending a little bit further than we'd like to see because it settled here on Tuesday. So now, you know, we're below the line. You're going to get people to see that. Likelihood is the weight of this will go down further, and that will probably take the E-mini S&P and NASDAQ with it. So let's go look at some dailies now. Now, if you want to look at the daily, let's take this down to what we will trade on Wednesday at the Omni Trading Academy. E-mini S&P, this looks like an appetizing place to go, doesn't it? Because that's what happens after a top comes in and it really starts to push. You get into the Omni average, the Omni Trading Academy's proprietary moving average, and you pop back out into the average, out into the average, out into the average, out into the average. But after this time, if you notice, it doesn't hit the average, doesn't hit, barely hits it, doesn't hit. So it's not coming down that far anymore. You might get some down movement, but you may not get far enough to even hit OTAPMA before the buying comes back in. Short-term trading for Wednesday. Then you've got the NASDAQ, same sort of look, but lately you don't get down to it anymore. So maybe it'll come down a bit and then find its legs and head right back up. That is what a bull market usually does when it finds support. So we are starting off by selling. We know this, right? We're starting off by selling first. But that doesn't mean, well, I can't even spell it on here. We are probably going to start off by selling, and then we are very likely going to turn around and get long if we get anywhere near this area. So stay tuned, stay sharp, selling first. We'll see what happens after that. Then we've got this. Look at that gold chart, traders. I showed this to you in several videos. We've been chasing this down, and I also said, look, this is some weird looking bear flag. The next thing that should happen is lower. This is what it looked like, and this is what happened. I mean, oh my goodness, come on, traders, look at that. This is where it was, and this is what happened. You cannot ask for better analysis, but look further. Look at this flag, the Euro flag, something that we've been looking at the OMNI Trading Academy. See that Euro flag? That's what it looked like 2 days ago, and this is what happened. Once again, my goodness, right? So that's what it looked like, and this was your end result. I say fantastic. You got to love those flags. Come on down to livewithoscar.com and study with me in my live chat room. So traders, you've seen the chart. You've got my technical argument for why we are starting off selling, but if we go deep enough, we will flip to a green OMNI. So let's start the day off red and see where we end up. Don't forget that the weeklies still look fantastic. You see those charts I showed you? Was anything that you looked at in that chart series scary to you, those weeklies? Wasn't to me. If it turns scary, we'll follow it down. For now, don't fall in love with the downside. One day at a time. Let's see if that support holds and we head right back up like we continue to do month after month during our recovery. All right, traders, so I will see you on livewithoscar.com. Watch out for the gold tomorrow. Watch out for the Euro flag. Don't forget, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, traders. I'll see you all at livewithoscar.com. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.